Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the PhotographyVerse podcast. I am your host, Karina Joseph, and today we are talking about the human behind the business and the fact that it is okay to pick and choose which contracts that you want, even when you are only starting out, even when your business is only starting and it's completely fresh. So this podcast is good for photographers, anyone that works with contracts, so a lot of self-employed business owners, small business owners. But today, I really want to divide this podcast into two. So it is extremely important that you know that your mindset has an influence on the clients that you attract. And I recently learned this in a networking event that I went to. Your mindset has an impact on the clients that you attract. Yes, I repeated it twice. I'm going to repeat it a third time just in case you didn't hear me correctly. Your mindset has an influence on the clients that you attract. And you may be going, okay, why is she telling me this 3 times? I am telling you this 3 times because I really wanted to sink in. The last week we talked about mindset, about letting go of your fear of judgment and stop caring what other people think. Well, today I'm letting you know that I'm building off of that podcast from yesterday, and that right now, today, when you're listening to this, whenever it is, your mindset will literally attract the clients. And you get to choose. You attract good clients, bad clients, and then your definition of what's a good and a bad client is completely up to you. But a sale will be made or a contract will be signed because of the person behind the business. 95% of sales start from the human behind the business. And that is why we are working on mindset together. As a photographer, from my perspective of things, people, when you get into business with me, they get into business, yes, because I have a good portfolio, my rates are competitive, but it's always the first impression, who I am. And my mindset lets me attract clients that I want to work with. And I'm only now transitioning to doing photography full time, but yet I still pick and choose my clients. And some of you guys may be wondering, why does she pick and choose? If she needs the revenue, she's just starting out, well, accept them all. But here's the thing, I don't want to accept them all because some clients that I don't feel they're good vibes, or they're negative, or they spend 2 hours on the phone with me trying to negotiate my rates. Those clients, I do not want them. They will have an impact on me, on my mindset, on the work that I produce, on the outcome, and my overall creative drive. So I say no to those contracts. And we'll get into this a little bit later. But I just want you to know that clients buy your energy. They buy your drive, they buy your passion, they buy you first as a person, and then your service or your product second. So this is why working on your personal development, working on who you are, changing your mindset, having an attitude of abundance, that really makes a difference. Really makes a difference. If you put out good vibes into the universe, an attitude of abundance, that you're ready to receive with gratitude, that you're grateful for the opportunity that you have, grateful for the fact that right now, on whatever device you're listening to my voice, whatever device that you're listening to my voice to, or when you have an internet connection, you most likely have a house, some food, heat, some clothes, running water, maybe AC. You have all the necessities. You have everything that you need to be able to live comfortably. And I am assuming this because you're starting your own business. Yes, you might have some debt. Totally fine. No judgment here. But the fact is that you're listening to this either to better yourself or to better your business. And just the fact that you're able to listen to my voice right now lets me know that you are doing something right in life, that you are on the right path. So when I really say that your clients will buy you first, I mean it. I really, really mean it. Because after that, it just brings me to think, to what percentage are you actually present when you're having an interaction with a client? Are you sitting down? Are you listening? Do you have your AirPods in and you're listening to the conversation with your client, to the phone call, and on your phone you're playing a game? To what percentage can you say that you were 100% involved with your last client? Whether that's in person, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a Zoom call, whatever. To what percentage were you present for your last interaction with your client? And the client before that? And the action in the client before that? It really, really makes you think. Well, it's making me think, so I'm hoping it's making you think that your mindset has a huge influence on the clients that you will attract. And what I'm saying is good for photographers, because that's what I'm talking about from my personal experience. But it's good for anyone in direct sales, anyone in B2C, B2B. This information is good for you too. People buy into the person behind the business. So, this brings me to the fact that for photographers, for anyone in the creative industry, for anyone that works with clients and that are contract-based, it is okay to reject a contract if the negativity surrounding the contract is going to have an effect on your work, going to have an effect on your environment, going to have an effect on you, on your mindset, on what you will deliver. Because whatever you're going to create, whatever you're going to have your hands on, whatever you're going to do, is going to be tainted by that negativity. And when something is tainted by negativity, you see. And then it becomes, oh, my client did this photo shoot for me and I'm really not satisfied with the pictures. So I'm going to tell everyone that asks me, I'm going to tell them to make sure not to book this photographer or this artist or whatever. That, my friends, is important. If you have a gut feeling that's telling you not to get in bed with this person, don't. This is something that my mentor really helped me understand. I had a specific situation with a client and I did not know really how to go about it because I was a bit on the fence once conversation started regarding the contract, regarding the work that had to be done and the pictures that were going to be delivered after. And my mentor told me that every time that he got into bed with a client and had a bad feeling from the start, instantly regretted it as soon as he was shooting or after when he was editing the pictures. So, this podcast is pretty short. I'm keeping it short and sweet for this week. Your mindset has an influence on the clients that you will attract. 95% of the clients will buy you first and buy your product or your service later. And think, to what percentage are you implicated when you're talking to a client, when you have an action with a client? To what percentage are you 100% there? Are you present? And lastly, it's okay to reject contracts. It's okay to pick and choose. It's okay to be picky. It's okay to be picky regardless of your financial situation. Because if you accept a contract that does not serve you, that just ends up hurting you in the long run, it's worse. It is worse than taking on that contract, getting a couple $100 or a couple $1,000. Because it has an effect on your reputation, on your work, on your vibe. Are you going to maybe put out negative vibes and not attract as many clients as you would like in the future because this contract is bringing you down? It is okay to say no. And I know a lot of people have a hard time saying no, including myself. I am guilty of that. But it is okay to say no. N-O. 2 letters put together. No. Practice it in front of a mirror. No, thank you. Thank you very much for reaching out to me, but I'm unable to take on your contract at the present moment. Thank you so much for the offer. Unfortunately, I have to decline. No, thank you. Easy words. Obviously, stay polite when you say no to a client. Stay polite. You don't want to burn any bridges. You never know what's going to happen. Just know that it is okay to cancel a transaction. It is okay, but just don't ghost. Stay professional, because this will have an impact on your reputation. So that's it. That's it for this week. Short and sweet, as I promised. Thank you so much for tuning into the PhotographyVerse podcast. I am your host, Karina Joseph. A big thank you to everyone that's been listening in the past couple of weeks. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed yet. And when you share the podcast in your stories, tag us. That way we can reshare and we can thank you, since that is the only way that our podcast grows. Our Instagram is at Karina_Joseph_podcast. Once again, that's at Karina, Korina_Joseph_podcast. I cannot wait for you guys to hear the episode that I have in store for you guys next week. It's going to be a great one.